In a world where special powers awaken in individuals, a 4-year-old child becomes an S-class hunter, but has no parents. Assigned a quest to find guardians, she's eventually adopted by the nation's top hunter, with a new skill that allows her to register caregivers and earn Filial piety points for growth. She sets out to gather the best guardians to grow stronger and thrive. Hello and welcome to another Manhwa Spotlight. This is a South Korean series called The Chick Class Hunter is Filial. It is written by Milka and Potdu and illustrated by Sonakbi. And the basic gist of this series is a little girl receives a broken ability, and so she joins a guild in order to use those powers. And that basic premise does not do the series justice. Let's actually break down the story, and you'll see that there's actually more to this series than just that basic summary. So we start off in a dungeon, but before I get into that, let's kind of set up this world. We take place in modern day South Korea, where we have this thing called awakening. And what it is basically people have woken up powers that give them stats and classes and abilities. Picture your basic isekai story. It's pretty much like that. Only instead of characters being isekai'd into a fantasy world and gaining abilities and stats and stuff, this is just stats and abilities being granted to people in our regular present day world. Along with these abilities, dungeons have appeared. And so these awakeners have decided to use their abilities to go into dungeons and battle monsters, discover treasures. Basically, this is just another way for people to be able to make money and grow prestige and stuff. And so we start off this series with someone in a dungeon and they're weak and dying, when all of a sudden this pink teddy bear shows up on this little tricycle and offers an antidote. And this character is called Fake Soda, aka I Am Gru. And I Am Gru is a illegal awakener, or an illegal hunter, I should say. Basically, if you want to go into the dungeons, you have to be officially assigned to a guild. And if you're not assigned to a guild, you cannot go in the dungeon. But that doesn't stop people from going down in there. And one of those people is Fake Soda. And so Fake Soda's like, are you dead? And the person's like, no, I'm not dead, you attention-seeking role-playing maniac. And then that's when we get a little bit of the lore dump on the world. And Fake Soda's like, so do you want to buy this? It's an instant antidote. And of course, the adventurer's like, how much does it cost? And Fake Soda's like, well, there's the bitter taste for 1,000,000 won. And then there's the sweet strawberry syrup flavor for 2,000,000 won. This is a first-time customer discount. And of course, the adventurer's like, what's the difference? And Fake Soda's like, well, the bitter taste is bitter, and the sweet strawberry syrup flavor is sweet. So this character seems to have like a very childish personality. And he's just like, all right, whatever, just give me your account number. And Fake Soda's like, payment can only be done via the Onion Pay. If you're going to buy, you have to sign this contract. And basically, the Onion Pay in the contract is to prevent this adventurer from reporting illegal trading to avoid taxes. Because I guess whatever you buy in the dungeon, you can write off as taxes. But what Fake Soda is doing is illegal. Fake Soda is illegally trading in the dungeons because they're not part of a guild. And so Fake Soda has people sign contracts and pay using Onion Pay. Onion Pay is, I guess, kind of a crypto payment. It's a payment that allows illegals to be able to receive money without going through the proper channels. So the adventurer pays, and Fake Soda gives him the antidote. And it says, if you leave a 5-star photo review on the Onion Market, I'll send you some earth candy that boosts your strength stat by 1 for 5 minutes as a bonus. Good luck. And then Fake Soda pedals away. And then we just get this funny thing, like we're on the HunterNet, we see people buying stuff from Fake Soda and giving review scores and stuff like that. And then we get to see who Fake Soda really is. And Fake Soda is a 4-year-old orphan named Gru. And Gru lives in an orphanage. She is just your regular innocent child who just happens to be an awakener. And no one knows that she has these abilities. The lady at the orphanage doesn't know. The other kids don't know. One day, while brushing her teeth, she just had this status window open up and tell her that she has a new ability. And the ability is a rank L crafting system, a broken crafting system. So rank L is the highest. It's legendary. It's above an S rank. It's the highest grade you can get. So all her other rankings and stats are F, except for the crafting ability. Crafting ability is an L. And her ability can boost all her other crafting abilities and all her other associated skills by just doing quests. And her quests are pretty simple. Her quests are basically like find a trusting guardian, make friends with 2 people, stuff like that. And so Gru is like, well, this is pretty cool. Let's use our abilities to make money. And so she creates fake soda and she sends fake soda into the dungeon to sell items illegally. And she makes money on onion pay. So one day Gru asks her caretaker about onion pay. And her caretaker says, why do you want to know about onion pay? It's not real money. You have to actually exchange what you make in onion pay for cash and able to use it. And to do that, you need an account. And you're too young for that. You're too young to create one. And that's when Gru reveals that because she doesn't have a hunter license, she can only do business through the onion market. But because she doesn't have a guardian, because she's not part of a guild, that money that she has in onion pay is just sitting there. And the amount she has is over 21 million won, which is equal to about $13,500. So she has made pretty decent money for a 4-year-old, but she can't do anything about it. And so she's like, well, okay, I guess I have to find a guild to be able to join. And as she's saying that, it just so happens that on the news, we see an interview with a guild member. This guy's name is Anjurim, and Anjurim is the leader of the #1 guild in the country. And Anjurim basically says that he fights for power. He fights for peace. He fights for freedom. He fights to protect. And Gru thinks, okay, this is the perfect guild for me. So we have Gru looking up how to get to the guild office. And so she sneaks out of her orphanage and she runs over to the guild. And Anjurim is kind of like, who the hell is this kid? Why is she in my office? And the secretary's like, I don't know. I thought that was your kid. I thought that was your daughter. He's like, no. And so he asks, what can I do for you? And Gru introduces herself. She says, I'm Gru from the chick class at kindergarten. And she says that I want you to scout me. I want to be a part of the guild. And Anjurim's like, there have been a lot of kids who wanted to become hunters and came to the guild, but this is the youngest I've ever seen. Send this kid home. This is like, we're not doing this. And so we have Gru the next day sneaking in, saying, I'm young, but I'm awakened. And due to the system-related accidents and ability adjustments, I possess a level of intellectual performance that matches exactly what you're looking for in a candidate. And of course, we have like this adorable moment where the secretary is like, wow, that's such a good presentation. Gru's so like pleased with herself. And Anjurim's like, we are not doing this. We're not having a kindergarten exhibition in my office. Like, you can make your pitch, but we're not allowing you to join the guild. You're way too young. Get out of here. But Gru refuses. And so he's like, okay. He grabs a piece of paper, holds it up to her. He's like, read this. She's like, apple. He's like, eliminated. You can't even read. Why would we allow you in the guild? You're too young. Come back when you're old. And maybe we might let you in. But Gru starts crying and he feels bad for her. So he decides to drop her off at the kindergarten himself. And he gives her some cookies on the way. And Gru gets a text message about someone wanting to do a deal. And so we see how she enters the dungeon. She has this part of the orphanage that's kind of secluded from the rest of the building. And there's only like this tiny little hole that she crawls into to get into there. And while in there, she has this teddy bear, the pink teddy bear that we saw earlier, the fake soda. And Gru has all these little antidotes and potions and stuff that she's crafted. And she puts it inside this bag, puts the bag on the teddy bear. And then she uses what looks like a Sony PlayStation controller to control the teddy bear. So she's not actually in the teddy bear itself. She doesn't actually physically go into the dungeon. She remote controls the teddy bear. And she's able to see what it sees on this TV screen. And so she controls the teddy bear into this portal, which goes into the dungeon. And she's going to meet the person that she's going to trade with when she sees that he's been captured by a police officer. And a police officer is like, show me your hunting license. I know you're here to do an illegal trading. And Gru is like, oh, no, I can't get caught. So she starts trying to pedal away because she realizes that what she's doing is illegal. And if she gets caught, she's going to get thrown in jail. So she starts pedaling away. The officer notices her, calls for backup. And we just have this funny moment where as she's pedaling away, Andrum, who happens to be in the area, sees her. And he just stares at this pink teddy bear riding a tricycle as it's trying to pedal away. And he hears that there's an illegal trader on the scene. And the suspect is fleeing on the tricycle for children. He's just like, what the hell is this? So he grabs the teddy bear and he uses his abilities to be able to locate where this teddy bear comes from. And so we see him appear behind Gru, picks her up, and he's like, Gru, is this your teddy bear? And he pulls out the teddy bear. She's like, yeah, thank you for finding it. And then he's like, are you I am Gru 1237? And she realizes she's been busted. And so he uses his ability once again to see how the hell did she get in a dungeon. And he discovers that she has a legendary skill. She's an S rank awakener. And so he's like, okay, is there a reason you wanted to join my guild so that you can engage in illegal trading, tax evasion, and money laundering? And we just had this funny moment where Gru's like, trading laundry? I don't understand what that means. But the older sister from the orphanage said, if I agree, I'll be halfway there. So she's like, yes. And then she's still worried that she's going to be thrown into jail. So she's like, Guildmaster, here, I'll give you everything. You can take this. Gru can earn more money later. And he looks at the balance. And he's like, is this a bribe? And she's like, a bribe? What is that? I don't know what that is. But yes. And then he's like, how are you going to get more money? And she's like, well, I'll just look for some in the onion market. And then I'll join a guild and I'll earn more. What guild? Any guild. And then she's like, oh, it's time for bed. I better go. And so he lets her go. And she takes her teddy bear and runs back to the orphanage so she can go sleep. And that's when he thinks about this situation. And he's like, the problem isn't that Gru was doing illegal trading, but rather that there's an orphan with an S rank ability with no family. In Korea, these young S ranks are usually sent to Gyeongsang, where they'll be cruelly exploited and get caught up in the selfish power plays of corrupt adults. So basically, he realizes that if he leaves her be, she's going to be taken advantage of. They're going to take advantage of her naivety because she's only 4 years old, and they're going to exploit her legendary skill. And he doesn't want that for her. And we get to see a little bit of his past and why this means so much to him. And so he decides that he's going to adopt her himself. And so he shows up the next day, he adopts her, and basically life for Gru changes. She goes from being an orphan to now being the legal daughter of the top leader of the top guild in the country. And from then on, it basically just turns into her trying to do little quests, which is like making friends and things like that. Her befriending all the people at this guild, and her dipping into the dungeon every once in a while, despite Andrum not wanting her to do that because she's too young. And I think this is just like a kind of sweet, lighthearted series. There are some serious dramatic moments. Like we have like a moment later on where she befriends one of the guild members and he's trying to get revenge for this demon that killed his family. And so she goes into the dungeon with him, and we had that whole like serious confrontation. But a lot of it is basically just Gru being a cute, adorable kid doing cute, adorable kid things. And I freaking love her. She is just so, every time I see her, it's just like, I want to pat her head, I want to pinch her cheeks, and I just want to protect her. Like her expressions, her personality. She reminds me a lot of like Yotsuba. Like what if Yotsuba had a cheetah ability and was able to do like isekai-like adventures? That's pretty much what this series is like. It's like Yotsuba meets isekai without the actual isekai. But you still have the whole abilities, the stat screens, the dungeons, the adventurers, the guilds. It just all happens to be in a present-day Korea. I love the artwork. I think Sonakbi has done an amazing job of nailing down Gru's expressions and just her adorableness. And yeah, I think this is a pretty interesting series so far. So if this feels like something up your alley, if you want to check it out yourself, I'll leave a link down in the description below where you can read it for yourself. That is, the chick class hunter is Filial. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. Take care. Later. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I still want to thank you for watching it this far, and I hope the next one is more to your liking. With that said, thank you once again, and I hope you guys and gals have a good one. Later.